Hey guys, Ashley here. I'm bringing you a different kind of video than I usually do. This video will be called Advice to Incoming College Freshmen. Now, I recently just graduated college and I guess I'm having a bit of a nostalgia kind of feel, so I wanted to make a video for you guys. For anyone who's really going into college and just is kind of scared and confused, because trust me, it can be a really scary process. So for now, I'm just going to give a few tips and I guess we'll just go from there. Tip number 1. Move-in day is gonna be crazy as hell. I worked for Housing and Residence Life, technically only for Residence Life if you ask the Kutztown people. What up, KU? I worked for them for 3 years of my 4 college experiences. Every time, it was hectic as heck. It's gonna be crazy. When I moved in as a freshman, it was pouring rain and it sucked. The building I lived in my freshman year luckily had air conditioning, but also there was no elevator. So I had to carry all of my stuff up 3 flights of stairs and that really sucked. So just some things to remember for move-in day. Something's probably gonna get lost or misplaced. Hopefully it's not something that you're super attached to, but most of the time people will find it eventually. And something will probably break. Either a light bulb or a picture frame, whatever, but those are easily fixed. It's just the way the world works. You kind of cram everything in your car and things get moved around and something just ends up breaking. And I know it sucks when you unpack it and you're like, oh, there's glass everywhere. Great. But it's just one of the things that are going to happen on move-in day. Now, I was one of my rarer friends who went far away to college. I'm from Philly, so there are a lot of colleges in the city. So a lot of people I went to high school with ended up just going downtown to school so they could really just hop on a train and come back home. I went to a college that was about an hour and a half, 2 hours away from home. So if I forgot anything, my mother would have to mail it and I wouldn't get it for 3 days. At one point, I didn't get something for 2 weeks. So that was fun. So just make sure you pack your essentials and you know where your essentials are. And even if you forget something, there's somewhere close by where you can probably pick something up, whether it's, a hairbrush or hair ties or, tampons or whatever it may be. There's somewhere where you can pick this thing up. Another piece of advice I want to give is it's okay to cry on move-in day. Some people don't cry, some people are like, yeah, I get to finally be free of my parents, and that's cool. You can not cry and be extremely happy, and that's awesome. I cried on my move-in day, I guess because it finally hit me that I won't be going home that night, I won't have my mom there to cook for me and all that kind of stuff. I was truly on my own, so I did cry my eyes out, which was hard because I had a roommate, so I had to kind of hide my crying while she brought a boy to the room after 5 minutes. So it's okay to cry. That's all I want to say. It's okay to cry. And even if you don't cry, it's okay not to cry. So let your emotions be what they want to be on move-in day. My second piece of advice is don't be afraid to eat alone. I ate alone for the first couple weeks I was at university, even though I had a roommate and I lived in a suite that was filled with 8 other girls. At the time, I guess they thought it was a good idea. But yeah, I ate alone for the first few weeks. I guess I was just nervous. I really didn't have many friends at the time. But then, you have that thought of, I don't want to be the weird kid who eats alone. Trust me, you're not weird. There are plenty of people there who are also eating alone. And some people find it more comforting. Me, I kind of found it more comforting to eat on my own the first few times because, I didn't know about it. I wanted to get my lay of the land, see where I like my favorite food and all that kind of stuff. But also sometimes I wasn't really alone. I would FaceTime friends, or maybe I would watch a YouTube video or something just to feel that little comfort of maybe if it's a YouTube video of someone, maybe you don't specifically know them personally, but it feels like someone's there sitting with you and kind of having a conversation with you. But also don't be afraid to maybe reach out to your roommate and say, hey, I'm gonna go get lunch. You wanna join me? And it's okay if they don't want to, as long as you have the effort of asking some people, Maybe if you meet a girl in your one class and you both have an hour break, be like, do you mind if I sit with you for an hour just so I'm not alone? And I know it's very scary to have to do, and as someone who is socially awkward, I understand that. A little story. Me and one of my best friends, Amber, we had the exact same schedule our first semester of college. Literally every single class we were in together. And I remember it was probably the 3rd day of classes. She came up to me after our one and she was like, hey, I think we're in all the same classes together. And we talked for a little bit and then it was awkward. It was like, oh, okay, cool. See you in the next class. And then I got lunch and I was trying to find a seat and I saw her sitting by herself and I walked up to her and I was like, oh, hey, do you mind if I sit here? And she was like, yeah. And then we got talking, and now she's one of my best friends. So obviously that is a very rare case in our situation, but I'm very blessed that that happened because Amber's one of my favorite people out there. So there you go, Amber. I complimented you. Be happy. Now this one's gonna be a little iffy topic. There is a 50% chance you will be friends with your roommate. Now I know how that seems. It's like, but Ashley, we live in the same room. Of course we're gonna be friends. No, you're not. There is a 50% chance you guys will be friends. So I'm gonna describe this with two different scenarios that I know of. So the first scenario, you and your roommate will not be friends. That is my scenario that I happen to have with my freshman year roommate. Now the first semester we were very close, very good friends. Everything started going downhill the second semester. I guess maybe I just got a little too sick of the drama that she was always bringing. She was always had a different boy over like every month, and it was hard to kind of keep up with everything that was going on in her life. And I tried to be as understanding as possible because she did have a very rough upbringing with her parents and everything. But you know, you just get to a point where you're just like, I can't deal with it anymore. And obviously there were faults on my end too. I should have been more open and honest about how I was feeling about these situations. And so it ended up being where she would get mad at me, ignore me for a while, and then once something different happened, she would start talking to me again. So it was just kind of this cycle that I really wasn't a fan of, but I thought she's one of my good friends. Like, why do I have to do this? But then I started getting close to my friend Amber and the friends that she introduced me to, and I started realizing that friendships shouldn't be like this. And I think I was very dependent because she was one of the first friends I made, because she was my roommate. But you have to learn for yourself of what you're comfortable with and what you're not comfortable with. It ended up being the last week of school. We didn't talk at all. We completely ignored each other. I was very much out of the room most of the time with my other friends. I only came back to sleep basically. And the very last day she was there, I hid in my friend's closet because her mom was threatening to beat me up and to tear all of my stuff apart. Now, luckily there were other people in the suite at the time so they can keep an eye on my stuff while I hid. I was literally shaking and crying while I was hiding in this closet because I was so scared of what her mother was going to do to me. So in that situation, if you have a roommate who makes you feel that way, say something to somebody. I don't know why I didn't. I really should have, because then I could have moved and been in a different, healthier, better situation than I was in at the time. But I think I was just, all those people in the suite at the time were my friends, and I was just so scared that I wasn't going to have friends anymore that I just thought I had to stay there. And yeah, you need to speak up if that stuff is happening to you. Go to your RA or go to a friend or find somebody higher up who can help you, because it can be a scary situation. It could have escalated for me personally. I fear to this day what her mother could have done to me that day, and because of the stories that she told me of what her mother has done. But yeah, so long story short, we weren't friends anymore. We don't talk. I think we're still friends on social media, so we see things here and there. And I hope she is living a good life, honestly. I hope she is great and happy and living her life to the best situation. I hope that she wants that for me as well. And so the second scenario, which is a little different, is you will be friends with your roommate. Now, I don't have much knowledge of this because a lot of my friends weren't friends with their roommates, but I mean, it's a good situation. I had my friend Rose was friends, her roommate Sydney, they had met move-in day and they were best friends all throughout their 4 years of college. Now, they didn't live together for all 4 years. I think they only lived together for the first 2, but they're still extremely close to each other. So you can also have that situation where you just kind of click with your roommate and it was just a good matchup. So it is a 50-50, so don't lean toward the bad side of it. Hope for the good and aim for the good and try to be good and just keep that communication open throughout the process. My fourth piece of advice is to leave your room. Ugh, I can't tell you all my years of housing and residence life where I've tried to help a student go out there and make new friends and they just want to hide and stay in their room all day. And it's just so frustrating because they could connect and be clicked with all these different people, but they just want to stay in their room and watch Netflix 24/7 and not connect with these people. And it's like, college is such an experience where you are in this place where there are a ton of people who are around your own age who you can click with, who are going through the same things that you are going through. And it's a very rare time in your life. And I encourage people to just leave your room, join a club, meet new people, just do whatever. Like, it's just, you don't know how many events I went to by myself because I knew I needed to leave my room. I need to leave my room and experience something and still have fun so I wouldn't regret it. And I just don't want people to regret that they stayed in their room all throughout college and didn't have this wonderful experience that is college. Like, seriously guys, leave your room. Yes, there are times where you can be by yourself and be like, look, I need this time for me. That's great. But you also need that time to get out there and, I know it's cliche, but spread your wings. Like, just mingle and see what there is out there, even if it's not on campus. If there's like a small little town connected to your college, go out there and see if there's like a bookstore or a record store or a tattoo parlor if that's what you're into. Like, just connect with people. It's so amazing that this time of your life you need to try and leave your room. My fifth piece of advice. What's my fifth? My fifth piece of advice is that the first year of college is going to be the hardest. It is a time of transition where you are coming from a child to an adult. In high school senior year, you're at the top of the food chain, you know? Freshmen are down here and you're up here. Now, you're back down here for college, and it's such a hard transition for some people, especially for people who may be living far away from home. There are a lot of people who I went to college with who are from South Africa. So can you imagine just that cultural difference as well? Like, I had a friend who saw snow for the first time, like an actual snowfall, and like she was just so amazed by it. And it's obviously gonna be harder for her because she's so many miles from home and all of her friends, but it is definitely a transition period. And something to bounce off of that is sometimes college isn't for everyone. Sometimes you go through your first semester or your first year and you finish up and you reflect and you say, you know what, this isn't exactly for me. This isn't what I want to do. I don't want to be in a classroom all this time. And it's understandable. For some people, it's just not for them. And they had that experience and they tried. There are plenty of different things you could do. You could go to beauty school maybe if you want to do with hair and all that. Or become a mechanic, electrician, all that kind of stuff. There's other things to do outside of college. Or even looking for simply volunteer experiences, maybe at a library, or if you have like museums, like do something like that. I think as long as, once you realize college isn't for you, research and see what is for you. As long as you're doing something and trying to figure out your life, it can be hard obviously, but you need to keep trying to figure out who you are and what you want to do. Also, another quick piece of advice, dress however you want to dress. Like, I know some people who are like, ugh, you're wearing jeans and a t-shirt to class? Like, ugh. And I'm like, yeah, because that's what I'm comfortable in and that's what I want to have class in. You know, literally I would dress like this, and I'm wearing jeans, you can't see it, but I would just wear a t-shirt and jeans to class all the time. My best friend Amber, she was more a little dressed up, but cute. Amber wore cute stuff, just saying. Like blouses and nice skirts, her pants and shoes. Amber has a very good shoe collection, by the way. Props to you, Amber. And that's what she was comfortable in. That's what she wanted to go to class in and how she wanted to present herself. And that's awesome, you know? You can dress as either or however you want to dress. Sometimes there are teachers who would come to class in Scottish kilts. Now, I never had these teachers, so I never figured out why they would come to class in these, like if they were of Scottish descent and that's how they wanted to dress. Again, perfectly fine. There was a kid who dressed up, I feel bad because I can't think of the specific time period, but in my head, whenever I saw him, I'm like, oh, there's Ben Franklin, which is very sad because he's a very nice kid. I think he's actually really smart too. He would dress up like someone from like the 17th, 18th centuries, I guess. And that's what he was comfortable wearing. And he wore it with confidence. And I always gave that kid props for walking around campus like that because, like I said, he just had such confidence of like, yeah, I'm dressed like this. This is how I want to dress. This is what I'm most comfortable in. This is how I represent myself. And I'm like, you go, Ben Franklin. I feel bad because I never got to learn that kid's name. He was always Ben Franklin in my mind. But props to that kid, honestly. Like, he probably had to go to a ton of thrift stores or even make his own clothes sometimes just to dress like that. Like, he had rain outfits because, you know, obviously he didn't wear like modern clothes and stuff. And it was weird. I saw him once wearing like a suit and like, just like a regular suit and tie. And I was just like, I've never seen that kid in modern clothes. Like, that's so weird. But yeah, dress how you want to dress because life is too short to dress up for other people. Anyway guys, that is where I'm going to end this video. I hope you find it helpful. Please share with any incoming freshmen who you think might love this video, who might need this inspiration, this little boost of like, yeah, I can do this. So yeah, my name's Ashley. I make videos every Tuesday and Saturday, and I will see you next time. Bye!